Hello everyone, and welcome to another Heffy Doodle video. This is a present from my son. These are Halloween cards that he made himself. He's a silly. So I've got some awesome brand new Heffy Doodle stuff. I've got the HOOTIFUL stamp set and the stitched circle dies. So I'm putting a piece of Ranger Distress watercolor cardstock down on my craft mat, and I'm going to create a mask from this stitched circle. And I'm going to use Avery repositionable adhesive sheets. Okay, these are from the Office Depot. That's where I get mine. And they're full sheet adhesive of repositionable adhesive. Does that make sense? I feel like I'm getting a little rambly. Anywho, I'm sticking the circular mask down towards the bottom of my panel here, and I'm going to do some ink blending. And at first I start going in with the Distress Oxides. So I'm blending on Blueprint Sketch, Faded Jeans, and Black Soot. Okay, and I want it to stay blue. I want it to be a blue night sky. That's what I'm going for. And the circular mask is where the moon is. Macho man.
Wow.
Hey, I'd like to see you come over here and do this. I'm sorry you had to see that, but he had to be put in his place. Ink blending is hard work. So I am also using this Nuvo brush. This is a Nuvo blender brush, and it really does help soften the edges of a blended area, especially when you're blending it into a white area. Now I've got that smudge on the bottom right that I'm trying to clear up. The Nuvo blender brush really helped me blend that smudge out a little bit so it wasn't quite as harsh. But I have big plans for this piece, so I am adding Black Soot Distress Oxide ink to the outside edges just to darken it and give it a little bit more depth so that it does look like a night sky and not just a really blue sky. And I think I did that pretty good, I guess. I was really doing a lot of ink blending and it was really starting to hurt, but I did not want Tim to notice that it was hurting me. So when he would leave the room, that's when, only then would I take a break from the ink blending. So when he watches this, of course he'll know what my shenanigans are, but until then, he will never know that the ink blending is hurting me. So I always keep extra blank ink blending foams around, and for any time I grab a new ink that I haven't really used yet, or this is a Spectrum Noir sparkle pen in Starry Night, and it is the most gorgeous sparkle night sky that you will ever see. So I just had to use it on my night sky. But because this ink does have a lot of glitter in it, I didn't want to use my regular blue blending foam, so I grabbed a new one, and it helped me blend it out after applying it. So I tried to put it on the side and then add it to my project. That didn't really work out. So then I overloaded the watercolor paper. Thank goodness I decided to use the watercolor paper because it really held up well. But then I ink blended it out, and of course it takes away a lot of the ink blending that I did initially, but I think it looks really, really cool in person. Of course I can't capture that, you know, on camera for you, but using that blender brush, the stencil brush, to kind of blend out the edges really helped. And I really would consider doing this again, maybe finding a better way to add it. But it is gorgeous sparkle, blue, starry night sky, and I love how it turned out. So thank you, Rose, for my awesome new splatter box. My good friend, Rose Bell, who is a subscriber of my YouTube channel and crafty friend, she sent me this awesome splatter box. So I'm going to do some splattering. This is Folk Art glow-in-the-dark yellow acrylic paint. So I have my charcoal toothbrush, and I'm splattering on the glow-in-the-dark blobs of paint. So, yeah, I was super disappointed that I did this. So, and I just ran out of paper towels. Can you believe it? I just ran out of paper towels. So I grabbed this diaper that I've used in my craft room for other things. And I've sopped up portions of the splatter because I don't want the splatter. So I used a little bit more of the ink and blended over top of it to kind of cover it up. And I think that was good enough. But then I was afraid to use the toothbrush. So I got out a very small paintbrush to splatter and it wasn't doing anything. So I got the toothbrush back out and I splattered paint again, like not good splatters. So again, I sopped it up and then I did it again and I walked away. I had to walk away, y'all. So after giving myself a few moments to let it go, I came back with the toothbrush and I used this kind of forceful flicking technique because I was angry. And honestly, you know what? It is what it is. There is a ton of glow-in-the-dark paint on this background now. So there, I own it. So that's going to take quite a while to dry. So it's sitting in front of a fan. And I'm making some marks on another piece of Ranger Distress watercolor paper. Just to give me an idea of where I need to cut out. I want to make a blended moon, okay? So I'm using iced spruce and antique linen. And I'm using the Nuvo blender brush to lightly blend like an ombre of color from one side to the other. And then I'm going to cut it out with a circle. So that's kind of moon-y, right? That's moony. So I thought that was good. So I'm using the Heffy Doodle stitched circles. Now these have stitches on both the inside and the outside when it cuts. I just need the circle die cut. So we're going to use the stitched circle die cut that cuts out. And I want glitter. So I'm using the Bo Bunny Sugar Glimmer glitter paste, glimmer or glitter paste, either one. And coating it heavily with this substance, and it is gorgeous. It just takes whatever ink blending is behind it and kind of makes it shine. So both of those things are now laying in the direction of the fan, and I'm about to stamp some images from the HOOTIFUL stamp set by Heffy Doodle. This is from the new release, and I'm using MFT's Extreme Black ink to stamp them on Neenah 110-pound cardstock. I'm going to color them with my Copic markers. I stamped both owls, but I pretty much knew that I just wanted this one owl that is kind of soaring through the air. If you do not enjoy coloring or watching people color, you can skip ahead through this and I'll leave that time above. But I'm just using my warm gray markers to color the belly of the owl and like the face of the owl, and then some brown, kind of like a warm brown, like a reddish brown. That's the E30s. That's going to be on the wings and the head of the owl, just to give it a little bit of difference. I don't know what I honestly don't even know. I know there's all kinds of different colored owls, but if you ask me what color is an owl, this is what I'm going to answer. Might be right, might be wrong. I do have a Copic color map with the exact markers that I used on this project. It is on my blog and you can pin it to Pinterest for future reference. That's what I like to do with them because sometimes I like to refer back or be inspired by a certain color combination. And after I finished coloring this image with my Copic markers, I then shaded him with Goldfaber colored pencils. These are the colored pencils that are by Goldfaber that are most similar to Prismacolor, I believe. I could be wrong, but in my opinion, they're very similar colored pencils. Anyway, I used the gray, warm gray shade to add a little bit of shading to the deepest, darkest shadows of my image, and I think it helps make it pop a little bit. They're Goldfaber by Faber-Castell, sorry. Goldfaber colored pencils by Faber-Castell. Anyway, you get the picture. So then I cut out a strip with my Heffy Doodle strips of ease dies, just a regular strip, not stitched. And I cut that with a piece of Lawn Fawn chocolate bar textured cardstock, and I stamped it with Nuvo clear mark embossing pad. And I'm heat embossing it with Ranger white embossing powder. And this is difficult when you're using textured cardstock. The bumps and stuff don't make it great to emboss on. So probably in hindsight, I would choose a different cardstock to emboss on, but I did not go back. It's all moving forward from here, honey. Okay, so now for more glow-in-the-dark fun. This HOOTIFUL stamp set by Heffy Doodle has shooting stars. And like other stars, it has outline stars and full stars. So I'm using all of the stars on my background, and I'm just arranging them in no real way, except for that one super blob that's on the right there. I'm making that a comet, okay? So I'm just drawing all the attention to it. I have no idea where I'm going from here. So I stamped them with Clear Mark embossing pad by Nuvo. And I did this twice. Once now, okay, I did prep it with my anti-static powder tool, and I did brush over it with the surface sweep a little bit. I was unsure of how the powder was going to react with all the glitter that I used in that with the pen. So I made sure it was super dry before I tried embossing. And then I thought, it doesn't really matter, because if I get specks of embossing powder, it's just going to look like other or more stars, and that's what I'm going for. So this time around, I was, I prepped it with my powder tool and I swept it off with the surface sweep, but I was really kind of like, whatever I get, whatever mistakes I make with this, I think it's going to be appreciated. So I stamped it down and again, dumped the embossing powder all over the front of this. And this time I did get some messy areas, but trust me, I'm going to show you the glow-in-the-dark deliciousness that is this background. Okay, so to your vision, it looks like a bunch of stars in the beautiful blue sky. And then when you go in the bathroom with me, look at that! Look at it! Look how cool it looks! So I need to do some filling in of my card. It's looking a little empty. Now I want the background to be the star of the show, but we need to have some more things, okay? So I'm using the Distress Oxide in Vintage Photo because that looks the most like the brown cardstock that I just used. And I'm stamping the What Ya Sayin' Now speech bubble from Heffy Doodle. And then I'm gonna say in the center, for you, from the same stamp set. It says thankful for you, but I'm only lining up the for you. I don't need the thankful. So I'm using the Heffy Doodle memo tape to mask off the word thankful. So my sentiment is going to say, I thank my lucky stars. And then the speech bubble will say, for you. Okay, so it might not be the most amazing sentiment that I've put together, but I think it's cool and fun. So I'm just stamping that and using the coordinating dies to cut out the speech bubble. There are 4. There are stitched and non-stitched dies for this purpose. I'm going with the non-stitched variety. I'm just using some die snips to cut them apart. And then I'm going to line them up and run them through my Sizzix Sidekick machine. This is the smaller die cutting machine by Sizzix. And I'm going to end up popping that up with some foam tape in the sky there just to give a little bit something else to look at. I also colored one of the branches from the set. I didn't think you needed to see all that. I'm adhering this directly to the card base, which is a Simon Says Stamp Fog cardstock base. And then I'm using my Dollar Tree tape to adhere my moon, and I'm going to cut off the bottom of the moon. I also cut down the entire background panel with a Heffy Doodle stitched Imperial rectangle die, second from largest. His name is Carl. And then I used Carl Jr. and Carl to make this frame. So Carl was on the outside and Carl Jr. was on the inside, and it made a pretty brown frame from the brown Lawn Fawn textured cardstock. And then I'm using the Stampin' Up! Foam adhesive strips to adhere it to my card panel to frame my card. So this was a little bit difficult because the foam tape wanted to make the frame wonky. So I might find a better way to do that next time. But I also used Scotch 3M foam tape to pop up the owl and the speech bubble and the sentiment and the branch. And then I'm using Lawn Fawn glue tube adhesive to adhere some wood veneer hearts to my background. It is stunning. If anything, it is sparkly. I love that it glows in the dark. I hope you enjoyed my video. Please find Heffy Doodle, find me on social media. I love interacting with you all. Here's some wonderful photos of my project, and I'll see you next time.
go on the roller coaster with my mom. It's so shiny.
Look how glittery that pumpkin is.
I like this one. Wait, placemat? It's like I think it's like a charger. Remember me.
Is that what you're drawing from that?
Yeah.
What was that?
Disney.
Coco?
Coco.
Coco.
It's so creepy. How do they do that? Do they project it on there?
No, it's really.
It's always like.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't remember this the last time.
No?
No.
I kind of feel like I do. That's the weirdest thing. Yeah, I really kind of feel like I've seen this.
Like they were regular creature costumes.
Yeah? I don't know.
Like that is super weird.
Yeah, they're great.
Look.
Oh yeah. This is totally something out of like Jacob's Ladder or something. It's fantastic. Oh, there's one more. There he is.
That's Brian.
It is Brian. I wonder if he knows he's been immortalized.
Have a spectacular day.
That guy is batshit crazy.
Oh my gosh. That is so creepy. That is so creepy.
That's
Look at her,
brilliant.
ooh, wicked socks. She's got like Christmas socks on, but it's Halloween, so it's super scary.
Oh, that's brilliant.
She used to have a motor that made her rock.
Oh yeah?
Awesome.
That's creepy.
Oh, that's kind of the idea.
Some pizza because that's what you ordered.
No, I didn't.
Two things that
Are you worried?
Yeah, I'm worried.
Don't be worried. It's like a gourd yellow brick road.
You look at it. I don't want to get scared by ghosts that night.
Come here, Dex. I don't think he's gonna make it. I think it's gonna start any minute now. Here we are. All right.
I don't think it is. Why is this
Isn't this fun?
I'm gonna stop.
Yep.
Hey, did you like it?
No, this is scary.